Hello, everyone.
Hello out there.
Hello. I'm so glad you joined us tonight and welcome to Cornerstone. Well, welcome to our home because that's where we do it. We do it right here. Let's see. Let me put our logo up there so whoever comes in later as a visitor might know who we are. And let's see who's here tonight. Let's see who's here. Let's see. Guys came on in the house. Hey, there's my sissy and brother-in-law. Hey y'all. Hope you had a good day. Hey, Pastor Norman. And then there's Bernie Vern. I had you on my mind all day, girl. I gotta call you. And hey, Deb.
Miss Deb, all you
Hey,
little
Brother
Debs.
Kessler. Brother Kessler's here. Hey, Linda Langdon, our super fan, all
How
the
you
way
doing out
in
there?
Washington State. And John Greason is in the house. And there's Dee Dee and George. Thank you guys so much
thank
for
you, George. And
coming by yesterday
Yeah.
and dropping a gift off to us. Thank you so much.
that happened again today at the what do you call that place where I get my feet worked on?
I don't know the name of the place, but it's the spot where you get your feet
Yeah,
pedicure done.
pedicure. Yeah, it happened again today, George.
Yeah, you got everything free, didn't you?
Yeah.
He sure did.
I mean, when I got a lady sit down beside me, and she said she remembered us way back there when we was in Winston ministering, and she said, "Are you him?" I said, "Yes. We've been looking for you for a long time." And I told her that how to get in touch with us online. And while she was talking to me and hugging my neck, the girl that was working on her feet said, "You not pay nothing today. We we will pay this for you."
Oh, really?
Hmm?
That's good.
Say we will. She said, "I will take care of this. You know nothing. You owe nothing."
That's
And
good.
I couldn't understand what she's saying. And the lady that was hugging me said, "She said you don't pay today."
I'm glad somebody was there to interpret for
Yeah,
you.
because I couldn't hear
Yeah.
on one side.
Hey, Sandra. And there's Diane. How you doing, sweetheart? And then there's Jill. And Noel. Hey, sweetie pie. Thank you for your love gift on Sunday. And there's Pearl. Hey, Pearl.
Miss Pearl.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's been getting all these little quick blessings, and all that stuff. So I don't know what he's got going on, but he's got something going on. All right. Well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys see this now, so that to remind you, and we'll put it in the comment section so you can do the link. Okay. So this is the Zoom. We're going to be doing it on Friday the 16th, and that's at 7 p.m. And you can click the link that's already in the comment section, or you can wait. I think I did send out emails for you guys. For those of you who didn't get an email, you can either do that here and register, or you can wait until I put it on Facebook. Whichever you want to do is fine. And I might even put it on in our description on YouTube the next time we come on. Okay, so anyway, just want to make sure you guys are reminded about that. And you got something good tonight, I think, huh?
Yeah.
You do? Well, we got time to do a meditation or prayer.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not a long one. It's not a long one tonight. We're going to do this really quickly. And I want you to just get really quiet if you can. If you can eliminate distractions, it would be great. And this is from lesson 189 of the Course in Miracles. I think it's a very good portion or passage to follow. And it reads like this, and you don't have to repeat after me. You can just simply listen if you choose. And it says, simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. Lay aside all concepts you have learned about the world. Lay aside all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false. Empty your mind of everything that it thinks is good or bad. Empty your mind of every thought it judges worthy. And all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught. Don't bring with you one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world. Forget this course. Forget this session tonight. And come with wholly empty hands unto your God. And so it is. And so it is. All right, I'll let you jump in because you got something definite you want to say, so I don't want to interfere with that.
I was looking for something there.
Is there something I can help you find?
He spoke with wisdom. Where did he get these words from? Okay. Now, I want you guys to listen with your eyes and see with your ears. Today was a day that I had a chance to see the non-doing self and the essence. I had a chance to experience going to a place where there was no way of expecting, no expectation, no desiring. I just went. But when I got there, I found out who was the winting one or the going one. There was no sign of any measure of two becoming one. There was no indication of things happening. There was no rehearsal, no pre-programming. There was no indication of eternalness, desiring to go to say anything, not to go and get something done in the sense of the mind. It was the key that has been missed out of the limitations of new birth experience. It was the moving of the no moving self. It is God awareness, but not within something or how something was supposed to take place. It was just what it was. It was the sound and the experience of a eternal no-doing wisdom that spoke by the experience of an eternal self wisdom. Eternal self wisdom. It was the wisdom of no age, but yet it was old. It was the aging self wisdom, but never getting old and never being young.
Mm.
It was the sound of water, love, thatness, wisdom. It is the outside of the Bible study wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It was the ego, no like ego wisdom. It was the dying to itself wisdom that had been structured with an unstructured event, no planning. It was the dying that died without being aware of wisdom, insight, wisdom that didn't come from going to, looking for, seeking for wisdom. It bypassed all of the wisdom of a changing self or a watching alert wisdom. It didn't come through watching and being prepared. It was the kind of wisdom that it said in the books of ages, ageless books. Where did he get all of these sayings? Where did they come from? It was called the wisdom of the Lamb wisdom. It comes through the filtering. It filters through the conditioning of the soft tissue of the eternal mind of Christ.
Mm.
The soft tissue of the eternal mind of Christ. The wife said her sister told her that she can go in the kitchen and make a meal out of what? What did she say?
Out of anything in about 5 or 10
Anything
minutes.
about 5 or 10 minutes. I saw this today. That was the lady that raised me, or raised the physical self. Her conditioning was in the kitchen. She couldn't read, she couldn't write, she couldn't spell, she didn't know the how-to of anything. But when she got in the kitchen, she worked for some of the richest people in Winston-Salem and North Carolina. And she would work all day and come home, and my uncle would beat her, and she would be crying and cooking at the same time. I went to the place where she worked that called her to ask me to come and do some yard work. I stood in the kitchen and saw her crying and cooking for those people from the abuse that she constantly lived under. But I didn't know that what was coming through this lady, through the brokenness of her soul, the cuts and the scars and the kicking in the side, it was making openings inside of her soul for wisdom to come through. It was the oil of gladness. It was the oil of suffering. I heard the Aaron Apke say something about the crucifixion of Jesus that never struck me, but the wisdom came through. that Jesus went to the cross and suffered for us, but it was translated into the reason why the suffering was there was because he woke up as us. And when he said that, why hast thou forsaken me to the Father? He was not forsaken, but he had to feel what we went through as him going through, what it was like to have hands scarred, symbolic of the suffering, and scars in the side, and the thorn prints around his head.
And the experience of feeling separated.
The experience of feeling separated, which wisdom comes through those cracks and openings. When I began to insight study of the way they prepare clean up ships in what they call dry dock, they have a machine, computerized, some type of machine with sound vibrations that can scan the hull of a ship, tugboats, ships, military ships, and can find in the metal hairline fractures on the side of the ship that the mind, the genius of the Meyer, the deception, the deceiver could not find. The only one that could find it was the infinite wisdom that was put in machines that automatically could find cracks in the hull to prevent water from seeping through. This kind of wisdom that I saw today, in my sleep, I was in a place where I saw old ancient ones of my family, people that I thought uneducated, no school. They may have gone to the first class, the first grade in the old shacks out in the country, and didn't go any further than the second grade, maybe some the fifth grade. But this wisdom that we're talking about here is not a who you are, but a what you are wisdom. It is the goal of all the sources of eternal essence, the eternal wisdom. It is called inclusive wisdom. Mm-hmm. It speaks by God's union of oneness. See this wisdom, and it speaks the goal of all spirituality. It's all spirituality speaking with no sound, no study, no reading, no school wisdom. It is the God kind of wisdom that all of us are in. Abby said that this wisdom and this oneness of God covers every area that the mind of Maya could be asking for. It is that part of us, the wisdom of God, that is so imparted into us that it is so close that the ones who walk in it are not aware of it, but only at frequent moments it is caught by the tailwind of the insight that does not have any air of self-exaltation. It just comes, it just flows, and it is done. It is to the point. I understand now why some of the sages would stop when approached by a question, and some of the answers that they had was in them. Excuse me. Some of the answers that was in them was stillness that said nothing, that did not say anything, but yet it spoke millions of words at once. No study, no reading, no school. the wisdom of God that knew of itself as being wisdom. It performs itself in its saying. I stood on a highway in the sky. I observed it. I was the watching of the wisdom that I was and that you are, that I speak now. This wisdom was my feet, my legs, my knees, the bone, the structure. And incidentally, when I said bone, I go back and rephrase that. I thought it was bone, but it was not. I didn't have any bones. I didn't have any joints. I didn't have any shoulders. Didn't have any fingers, but yet I was all put together by the pattern of imprint that we left from these bodies had. And I didn't have it, but I had it, but I knew it, but I didn't know it. It performed itself with its own sayings. It said what mind could not say. It did not have any reason. It did not have any sense to it. Make sense? No, it didn't have any sense. It was the non-moving self-wisdom that when my knees and my feet, where it was standing on the highway in the sky, it's asked itself a question, and it answered itself with itself and asked itself, how far is it from where I am? And I am to the end of this road. And in I am, it said and revealed 1,000 miles. And at the moment of the revelation of sin, it covered 1,000 mile wisdom and never took a step. It's the unmoving self wisdom. And at the end of the road, it began to reveal itself as, no, you cannot step over the waters yet. And I saw the wisdom of the city of wisdom on the other side. And I turned and I looked to the right. And in my right, there was a wisdom machine, like a UFO. Excuse me. I was automatically in the machine. I was the flying of the machine. I was the movement of the machine. I sat down in the seat of wisdom. I'm telling you what it is now that I didn't know what it was then. I sat down in a chair that wrapped itself around me, and I could feel the alloy, the liquid substance of the formation of the furniture in the ship. And it was the wisdom of God wrapped me around like arms on a chair. And it showed me how these wisdom mechanical operations function in the world of no doing self. I sat the other day in that place, and the lady worked on my feet. Hadn't been there in a long time. She said, it seemed like it's been about 2 years. I told her, I said, she was speaking her language. I asked the lady next to me, I said, did you understand what she said? She said, And I started talking to the lady on my right about what I had seen and what I was talking about tonight. I had no idea that I was going to talk like this tonight. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter. The wife asked me in the kitchen, said, what you going to talk about tonight? I said, what you just said about how you can fix a meal and out of anything right quick. And we talked, and I talked to her about my experiences on the other side, this side. And another lady came in that I hadn't seen in years. I didn't know who she was, but I told the lady on my right, I said, stillness speaks. I said, your essence speaks. And I said to her, I said, your presence speak. And she said, I heard something like this before. And I stopped. Let me tell you something about this wisdom. It does not stop and start. I talked to a guy one time He was a therapist. Used to live up the street from us. He stopped, and his car or his truck went into the wisdom mode. I didn't know what it was till now, as I speak. It stopped. The motor quit. And I backed up and I said, "What in the world happened there?" I said, "Your car just cut off." He said, "Yeah, it do that." This wisdom that we're talking about now, it do that. It's called to do that wisdom. His truck cut off. Boom. So he was on his way to work, and when he all of a sudden it cranked up again. Another man came up and who know me that ride past here on his electric bike. He comes by and he stopped and his car cut off. We're not used to that. These electric cars, effortless engines. My Jeep has got two mufflers on it that make noise all the way up to Main Street here in Kernersville. You got two cherry bomb mufflers on it. I put on it, and it makes noise so much you can hear the radio or the music, but you turn it up loud. And his car cut off, and then when he got ready to go, it cranked up. Now, whether he touched the accelerator or the brake, it did that. Our Chrysler 300 out there, and when you get in it, it won't start until you put your feet on the brake or touch something, then it cranks. This wisdom is the wisdom that Israel had on them, in them, and through them in the wilderness. Their shoes last for 40 days, 40 years. And 40 years and 40 nights.
Although I don't think I want to wear the same pair of shoes for 40 years.
They did not, the shoes did not wear out.
I know. Their clothes either.
Yeah, and they're clothes. And this is called the wisdom.
And we've experienced that too.
Yeah, we have.
With the appliances in our house.
We got some of them still here.
Yeah, we just bought a new dryer
last
year. And the dryer we had before that one was the one that came out of our mobile home, which was the first house we had after we got married. So we've been married 54 years.
And we run a battery, 54 years.
54 years. Yeah. That dryer was at least 52 years old.
Yeah, and it's still out there.
No.
That's not the new.
We replaced it now.
We have?
But it was still working.
But we have something out there that's still old.
No.
You got something out there old.
We're old.
Oh, that's what old.
No, but
you old. I ain't.
When we got rid of it, it was still working. In fact, the reason we had to get a new one is because it started to get hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
And then it would cut off in the middle of a cycle, and we had to replace it because there were no longer any parts to repair it. It was still going.
One of them kind of dry. When it dry, you don't put a pair of socks in there, and you go look for it. It ain't in there. What happened to one of them? It got sucked up, blown out the vent on the side.
Our refrigerator right now is over 40 years old.
Yep. Yes. And I just took part of it out and fixed it and put it back, and it started back working. It broke, and I took it out and fixed it again. It's still working.
And that I always say it's the Israelite anointing, because it is, and it goes back to what you're talking about, the non-doing self or the non-doer. There are things that happen or by acts of grace where you don't even apply any effort. You don't have to apply.
It's called the ego dying to itself wisdom.
Yes, and I wanted to say this too, for those of us who like to have practices and things that we do to try to become more spiritual, or try to get rid of the habits or the mind and all of this. There's nothing wrong with that. But the one that's doing that, the doer, will wear itself out.
Yes.
And when it comes to the end of itself, then grace comes in to actually do whatever needs being done.
It is the wisdom of the pure self. And what Jesus was demonstrating, and the actual wisdom of the cross is when you go this pathless path of the waking up of yourself, your true self, there is a type of suffering and loneliness that comes that does to you what happened to Peter around the fire after Jesus was crucified. But before, he said that Peter would deny him so many times. Now, here's the definition, the esoteric meaning of the fire that Peter stood around. The fire of God that burned the heart of the Sacred Heart of Jesus will use every bit of pressure, hurt, and pain. Watch this. Here comes. Every bit of suffering that you went through, John Grecian. Every bit of suffering you went through, Miss Pearl and Jill and Diane, Sandra Ortiz, Sharon Harrison. Every bit of pain that you went through, every one of you that's listening, the wisdom of God shall take every bit of it and use it as fire, kindling fire. I used to cut wood and come across some wood in the mountains called locust, seasoned locust wood. I threw it into my low pie insert stove, closed the doors, the prettiest blue flame, absolutely immaculate flame. You sit there and you watch it through the windows. It had glass windows, and you can actually see the fire rolling over and over from each wood.
It had a fan on it. Because the surface of the stove never got hot.
I could touch the top of it. Listen. I could put something on it like water for steam, and it would actually, you could touch the pot and it wouldn't burn, but yet it was the heat. It's almost like a microwave oven. When you put something in a bowl in there, the bowl be cold, but what's inside of it warms up.
Yeah.
Hey. Listen with your heart. Some of us are trying out of the doing self to quiet the mind. Forget it. Let it be what it is.
Trying so hard.
It will never override the eternal wisdom self.
And what we're interested in you experiencing the rest.
That is the rest.
The rest that is provided for you.
I call it the rest of you.
Jesus even said it, "Come unto me, all you who are heavy laden, burdened, and I will give you rest." So he promised that to you. But those of us who are trying so hard to meet some standard or to make sure that we dot every I and cross every T, to make sure that I practice and I live this life that I've imagined that a spiritual person should live, and this is how it should be. You're very, very tired, and if you aren't tired now, you will be. And if you are tired, that's a good thing.
Yeah. The hairline fractures in a ship can only be seen by the infrared energy of a certain type of spirit essence machine. It can find it. You can't feel it. You can't feel it. You can't feel it. You can't feel it with the five senses. You can't feel it. You can't see it with the eyes. But there's something about you that's infinite and eternal that can see a hairline fracture in a skull.
It's beyond the physical, way beyond Lord the physical.
God, help me, baby Jesus. Somebody talk to baby Jesus.
What you are is way beyond the physical form that you live in. It's way beyond even feeling that you're in this physical form.
It is called living as gods without dying of the humanity, but yet the human side
yes,
of reading it off your book.
Yes.
But yet it is the human side of God.
Living as God's without denying our humanity.
Without denying our humanity. Yes. Bypass the mind wisdom, changing, watching wisdom, unchanging wisdom of the Lamb of God wisdom. It comes through the filtering through all the conditionings. It's all with no miss, no mistake wisdom.
Yes.
It is the wisdom that you thought in the mind that did not exist in you, even in the most intellectual moments of college and the highest degrees that you can match up to with a teacher or dean. But here comes all of a sudden the miracle sudden burst of energy at the worst place you could be in. The lady today sitting on my left said, she said this, she said, I want you to pray for me. That's what the girl said that gave me the free footwork today. She said, I will pray for you that you get better. And the lady next to us said that sitting next to me said, I would pray for you too. She said that when she said that, I said, your car and the place that you live, she said, yes. I said, you're having problems. And I said, God is going to fix that for you. And I said, this is going to be taken care of. She said, who are you? And I didn't tell her who I really was, but I told her who she could handle that I was. I said, I'm Reverend Sawyer. She said, we've been looking for you for years. She said, we met you at a certain place in Winston years ago. I was in my 20s, 30s maybe. And she said, my mama told me that this man that was talking to her in the service about her life, her mother said that she told me everything about herself. And she told her mother, said, no, I did not. Said, I don't know the man. It's the first time I ever seen him.
So she thought her mother told you all that you revealed to her.
Yeah. And she told her mother, no, I didn't tell him anything.
No, you mean her mother said.
Her mother, yeah. And the lady said, I told Mama that I didn't know this man, and it's the first time I ever seen him. And it happened again today. And here's what happened. I said, there's a child in heaven that know you. And I said, your mother is standing with her. And I said, the child and your mother is your angel now, helping you with your house and your car. She almost broke there and hysteric crying. And I said, hold it. Just hold on to it now. Hold on. And I had to leave right then because I knew if I kept talking to her, we both would have went off into tears. I told the lady on my right, I said, I saw a place in heaven that all your tears is in a bottle. And I said, these tears are in a book. When they pour them in the book, they soak down into the fabric of the texture of the book. And I said, when you look at it, we call it float ups. And this is one of the words that I picked up, Miss Carolyn. I picked this up when I investigated into the 7 gates of the subconscious mind and the 7 gates that God identity uses to bring information, revelatory insight to us from the spirit world. And one of the gates opened for her, and she said, my baby in heaven. I said, it still calls you mama. Sometimes I tell people that's where all of us came from. Knowing that which is scared, knowing that which is scarred, and scared. At the weakest point, I'm standing in the post office and I'm talking to the attendant on the other side about mailing an item. And he looked behind me in the line. He said, "Catch her, catch her." The lady was passing out behind me. And when he said everything slowed down, y'all, I'm telling you. He said, "Take no thought." And I didn't have time to think. It's like my hands became the non-doing self, reached back and grabbed her by the shoulder and shortened the fall, broke the distance of her falling on that hard floor, and it let her down like she was floating on air. And all of a sudden I felt the unction of the wisdom of a physician. I didn't know where it came from, but I know it was there. But now I know it was the wisdom of eternalness. And caught her head and kept it from hitting the concrete. I stayed with her until they got help. Sweetheart.
And that is you call it the non-doing self,
Yeah.
but it is actually the only doer that's
The only
here.
doer.
When the doer that you think you are, who's constantly trying to be and trying to become, is out of the way. And like you said, you had no time to think. So the thinker, which it thinks, we often think we can manage this life.
Those of you who are just coming in, I want you to, if you didn't catch all that I said so far, go back, start over with this class tonight, and start from the beginning of it and let it talk to you. And you know, one of the most amazing things about this wisdom is that as you begin to draw from the inner universe, from the universe, everything that the universe is, you are in the universe.
Yeah, that's right.
You will begin to have, and then to it, as I've gotten older in this body, aged, the wisdom and insight of the deja vu has gotten stronger. I can't say words that the old guys in the brick and mortar like to hear from the Bible quotations. I used to think that if I could quote pages of the Bible to people when I talk, that would be a authentic proof that I was a man of God. It didn't work. It won't work. So what I had to do was start working from the experiences that I had at the moment and talk about it. And that was it. A lot of times I'd be talking to myself, and my old mentor told me that I was talking to me. But to me,
and I have to say this, that because of the challenges you had early on in your life of learning and schooling and all of this, you've never depended on the intellect.
No.
So
I wanted to.
So many of your words don't come from that place of the intellect.
You know,
it has to arise as an intuition for you.
Yeah.
And that's why your words are so mystical in that sense. And that's why it differs from me in a lot of ways. Sometimes I jump into that track, but the majority of the time I'm that left brain, like you said. And it's a good thing, because sometimes I can take what you've said mystically and break it down for those others who are left-brained. But you come from a place that's not of the intellect.
That's right.
It's not going to be a step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of talk.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that, but it's going to come from a place that you feel deeply, and hopefully that feeling will become contagious
Hmm.
and they'll feel the same thing.
Let's just say you are when you're working on a puzzle, you're looking for a part that would fit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You are
mm-hmm.
the other
Yeah,
parts of the puzzle
yeah.
that are found through thousands and thousands of years.
And that's why we're not in competition. We complement
Hmm.
each
Hmm.
other. Yeah.
And I'll be talking to her, and I say something, and I stop, and I say,
Mm.
"You already know this."
Yeah. So we complement one another with that. And that's a good thing. And I can't do what he does. He can't do what I do. And we're not supposed to be clones, are we?
No, that's true.
We're not supposed
But
to
yet
be.
there is a part of us that's universal.
Hmm. I wanted to just mention the comments that Linda
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
Carolyn
And look at
made.
John. John got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
something good.
John said that way back when we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about the car that cut off. He said that's the new fuel efficiency mode
Mm-hmm.
that they have in the vehicles. But then Linda says that she said the knowledge I am is God's signature in the mind. I like that. The
Mm-hmm.
feeling of being is God's footprint in the heart, and that was said by
Wow,
Rupert Spira.
man,
Hmm.
that's good. I
I
like
like
that.
that too. Carolyn says, Hallelujah, wisdom is knowing that which is sacred.
Yes,
And Marvita, hey, sweetheart, she says, alignment is beautiful. Yes, it is.
alignment. I like that.
Mm-hmm,
Hey, you
mm-hmm,
guys,
mm-hmm.
you're talking to me. You're talking to us. You're talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
You are the him that speaks to himself through what is called altered states of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. John said what he likes about you is that mystical talk that you do from
Oh,
that place of intuition.
oh my
Said it's
gracious.
intrigued him for 30 years.
He been what now?
Intrigued by it for 30 years.
John know us.
He's known us for a while. Yes.
I know I heard sound like I heard you say that before, John, but I've been trying to see you.
I'm trying to place you, John, and I wish we had a picture
That's
of
what the
you.
lady said today. Maybe
Mhm.
sometime, John, we will pull up a place and then where we can get us personally
Maybe
talk.
he'll come on the Zoom.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, then he can see you.
Um,
Jill, she says, I recall you teaching this way about wisdom when we were in the brick and mortar. Yes,
oh,
yes,
bless your heart.
yes, yes,
You touch me. You touch me. You
yes.
touch me.
Mm.
This is what I call. Hold this now. This is what I call the inward kiss of God. This is what I call the romancing of the stone.
You mentioned scripture that you were looking for. I don't know if I found
Mm-hmm.
it, but
It was
this one
all the
sounds
wisdom.
good to me.
Okay, it
It's
is.
in Luke 4:22. It
Mm-hmm.
says, Jesus said, he began to say to them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears.
Yes.
And then he said, and all bear him witness and
Yes.
wondered at the gracious words
Yes.
which proceeded out of his mouth.
That's it.
Yeah, they wondered about the
That's what I'm
words
looking
that he
for.
had. Yes.
You know what? We could end this right here. Supposedly on the surface,
Mm.
but there's no end to the
There's no
wisdom that
end.
you are.
There's no end.
You know what?
Yeah.
I wrap my arms around all of you
Mhm.
with the arms and the length, the height, and the breadth of God. I told a lady today sitting on my right, I said, when you leave this body, this suit, this cup, the juice that you are will leave. And you will, as the Holy Spirit of God, you will take the breath and the life of God that you've always been
Mm.
away from this
Mhm.
illusion.
Mhm. Mhm. That's it. That's
This
it.
wisdom that we speak of does not come through Maya, the deception, the deceiving. It is the wisdom, the pure wisdom of God
Yeah.
that transcend any illusions.
And I don't know if you guys can sense the feeling, I won't say the feeling, the energy and frequency of what he's saying and what's been said tonight. But it feels like everything's slowed down. And the the push and pull of the egotistical system and world, it feels like it's just kind of been arrested.
Mhm.
during this session. So uh, you're experiencing that rest.
Yeah.
And that's what the rest of God is like.
It's called the bypassing of the mind wisdom,
Mhm.
the unchanging wisdom, the
Mhm.
wisdom of the Lamb. It comes
Yes.
through, yet it is being filtered through. Yet it is being filtered through. Yet it is being filtered through.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
develops its own muscles to push through
Yes.
the stone that's rolled away from the tomb of the encasement of the physical world.
And the mind will always tell you the thoughts will go through you that you're not enough, you're not moving fast enough, you're wasting time, you should be doing more. Uh, if you if you do this, you would be further ahead. It's always giving you more and more and more to do. It's always placing you under burdens. It's always placing you under heavy tasks. It's like a heavy taskmaster.
Mhm.
It won't let you rest.
No,
If
no.
you follow the mind, it won't let you rest.
One of the things about this infinite wisdom, it is a resting restlessness.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
is a desiring
Mm-hmm,
undesiring.
mm-hmm. Yes.
It is a grateful gratefulness wisdom. It reminds me of these, as you heard me talk about, asbestos gloves that welders use.
It's a blow your mind
Yeah, it
wisdom
is. It is.
because
It
you'll
is.
wonder how in the world did I do that, or how in the world was this done?
I know you. I see you. I've heard you. I felt you. I am you. I look at you all the time
Yes, you do. You really do.
because I
You
know
do.
who you are.
Linda says this. She says the ego is under arrest. We are floating in the latitude and longitude of love.
Now put your hand on my hand because I'm hot and I want you to cool me off.
You are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
warm.
really
The
hot.
heat.
You're hot.
Hey, it's like an old saying. Now you heard me say it, some of you. Kill a rock,
Wreck
wreck
a
a
train
train, and
and
dare
dare
a
a
piece
piece
of
of
iron
iron
to
to
catch
get choosing.
rheumatism. This kind of wisdom, and you know it is so. It'll cause a train to have a flat tire. And train don't wheels don't run off of anything but iron and steel.
Yeah.
Make a bullfrog watertight.
Oh, there you go. He's on a roll now.
Run water up a hill. It'll help you to understand how Jack and Jill went up the hill to get a pail of water. And water don't run uphill, but they did go up the hill and get some water. Mhm.
Instead of down. That's true.
They didn't go down the
Although,
hill; they went
al-
up the hill. Woo!
although my daddy swore that when he drove from North Carolina to California, he saw some water running
Mhm.
uphill.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, make a duck hatch a square egg. When you go out in the woods, you can hear a tree. When it fall, when you get to it, it's still standing, but you know when it fell, but it made no noise. Make no noise. I'm telling you the truth. I go to them places with that restaurant be Bojangles. I said I want me a scrambled egg, a square duck egg sandwich on biscuits.
You like shock therapy. I figured that
I
out.
love it.
You
I love
love
it. I
shock
love it. I
therapy.
love it.
You love to
Yes, I love it.
see a person go, what is that? What?
Yeah, yeah. Cut wood,
Cut wood.
cut wood, and carry water at the same time.
Chop wood.
Chop wood this way.
Chop wood, carry water.
Turn, turn a lion into a kitten. Can count the stripes on a zebra's back. Can change a wolf into a gentle lamb.
You know, that's scriptural
Yes.
where it says the lion
Yes.
and the lamb will lie together.
Yes. God is finding himself as us,
Mhm.
and us, God finding himself as
That's
him.
right. Yes, 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 yes.
It is called the you are wisdom.
Yes.
You are wisdom. It's the old, no aging self wisdom, making the shift from doing of the mind to the doing of beingness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you get that? You get that? Get that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that? Making the shift from doing of the mind to the no doing beingness.
Listen at this. He says, this is coming from Norman Grove.
Mhm.
Said Norman made it clear that the key to a liberated and fulfilling productive life is recognition of who we are. For 41 years, I was unable to answer the question, who am I? I glibly talked about being a new creature in Christ, but those were only words.
Yeah, words.
No wonder my apparently successful life had been marked by periods of questioning, unrest, spiritual drought, and what I considered to be hidden sins. How do you see yourself? As a fallen, independent being separated from God, an independent I? Or have you come to see your real self as a unique expresser of deity,
Mm.
a unified I? Our self perception is extremely important, for the way we see ourselves dictates the way we act.
Listen to them.
Mm.
Looking at this. Look, you guys are just coming across. You see that's just
Yes.
wisdom. I can see it coming across the screen. But when y'all say something, I can feel it. I can see it. Linda, you're saying it.
Yeah, she's confirming what my daddy said.
Yeah.
That is a place in Oregon.
You're riding down the road and all of a sudden the back tire pass you. I saw on YouTube a car, two or three cars coming down the road, and they hit an invisible wall and towed the car all to pieces. The people didn't get hurt, but it towed the car, and it showed it where the car hit some kind of invisible wall.
Yeah.
The monkey mind, let it stay where it is.
Let it be what it is.
If it's up in the tree and it's trying to get you up there, you tell that thing. If it wasn't for you, but you got to, reach down into the gut of God, into your inner being, and tell it, I'm the reason why you're up there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have a tree limb to sit on.
All you're saying is you are the one that's aware of that chattering mind.
That's right.
Not the mind itself, but you are that one that's aware of it. And if you would remain as the one that is aware, you would not be disturbed by what it does.
I saw Jesus. And ever since I saw him, I often tell, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I look at baby girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I look at him in her eyes, and it reminds me of his eyes.
Yeah.
And I see him, and I say, I see you. I
Mhm.
see you.
Yeah. Now our time is done, sweetheart.
Oh gosh.
I know. Unless you've got something really specific. You got some more you really want to talk about?
Making the shift from the doing mind to the no doing of beingness. That's it right there. Make the shift from the doing mind to the no doing mind beingness. Beingness
From
is
doing to being.
from doing to beingness.
Yes.
That means be I bicky by be I bo bicky by be I bo. Yeah, that's the Three Stooges say that.
I know.
But the B-I-B,
B-E-B, B.A. Bay, B.I. Bicky Bob, B.I. B.O. Bicky Bobo, B.U. Boo, Bicky Bobo, Boo.
I like it.
Yeah, you're so silly.
Oh, Lord.
Look.
Take your mind to court and serve justice on it. It tried all it could to stop this wisdom, but it can't do it.
Look.
I'll tell you, like they always said in the old days, started, fought it, fumbled, and failed, thought he had it, but he let it get away. Okay. I'll stop.
Thank you, Jill, for posting how to give in the comment section. And look, you guys, remember, we will be doing a Q&A Zoom. And if you want to write down your question and send it to us ahead of time, that will give us some direction. So that would be wonderful. It will be a Q&A Zoom. So we're hopefully going to be able to discuss some really good stuff. And if we don't know, we'll just say, I don't know. But in the meantime, it will be June the 16th at 7 p.m. And that's a Friday, an event that you will be able to make it. And if you want to actually attend, you can register by clicking the link that I just posted in the comment section. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Mary Bryan, I'm glad you're here. She said, Pastor was truly a blessing seeing you today. Thank you, sweetheart.
That's her.
Mary
Bryant?
Mary Bryan.
Was that who I saw at the...
Are you the one he saw today, Mary? Let us know,
at the shopping
sweetheart.
center?
Let us know. Yeah, just let us know if you're the one he saw today.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, and Linda, we love you too, darling. We love all of you guys. Pastor Norman, we love you. Hopefully see you again on Thursday with Pastor Norman when we do the impromptu at 12:30. And some of you, I know you're not able to make that time, but you can always go back and look. We have some great conversations, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Mary says she is that one.
Yes, you did it. You did it. You did it. I told you yes. Where's she say yes at, Mary?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
right
I see it. Okay. Yeah, let me look at the picture.
It's the one who's highlighted in blue.
Yes, that's you.
She said, yes, I'm the one.
Yes, yeah. Lord, you were such a blessing to. When you walked in the door, I could tell presence there. And the lady sitting on my left, on my right, actually about going to college. And you were there when the girl told me that I didn't pay anything. But I thought about it after I walked at the door. I said, I should have took care of your bill there at the same time, but that's okay. It'll come to you. And what I told you today about the car and the house and all the things, with your mother and the baby on the other side helping you, that is in operation right now as we speak. She says she loves us. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. I love you too, even though I haven't seen you. I love you already in my heart. Linda says impromptu is awesome. And it is. It is. Yeah. That impromptu is. So we'll see you again on Thursday at 12:30 for the impromptu. And then if you don't make that, we'll definitely be back on Sunday at 10. Live and in color, won't we? You got it. See you next time. Me, him, and baby girl. Where's baby girl? Baby girl, where's she? You want to get a picture of her, Mary? Baby girl, where are you, boo boo? She went in her room. Oh, she went in her house. She's got her cage behind us. Come on, jump over here. Jump. Come on out here. Come on, so Mary can see you. So Mary can see you. Come over here. Come on. That's baby girl. There you go. See, that's baby girl. Say the baby girl. There you go. That's baby girl. She's the girl. She went into her apartment there. She wanted to be away, and he came back home today after he went and did some errands after he got his feet fixed, and he came back and she wanted to ride so bad. He had to take her for a ride. So I took her ride around the house. Gave me time to get a little work done without her. So she helped me out today. But anyhow, guys, we'll see you next time. We love you. And stay sweet. Okay.